Kayla.
And Jim.
And welcome back to Meteorology Monday.
Today is a follow-up to what we did last week, and that was storm chasing part 1. This week we're going to be doing part 2, which is more in-depth questions on storm chasing.
Yeah, so for this video we're going to go a little bit more in-depth into like how to read a radar and more tips and tricks that are a little bit more advanced. So if you haven't checked out part 1, definitely check that out. I'll leave a link for it below. So watch that and then come back to this one.
An umbrella.
Unless
a big umbrella. Well, for what we use the basics, and that is we have cell phones that have apps on it like radar scope, a GPS, maps, things that help us to chase, as well as some time-lapse recording, you know, with the regular camera that's on the phone.
Yep.
Those are some of the basics that we use. What other things do we use for our chasing?
Well, we're chasing, obviously we're trying to capture footage and stuff. If you haven't seen our Instagram, go check out our Instagram. We post all of our pictures over there. But we also like to vlog it for you guys over here. So while we're chasing, I have my DSLR camera, tripod, I have microphone if it's not going to be too rainy, and then in addition to the time-lapse on our phones and or whatever your phone can do, which isn't much.
Just looks at radar scope. Maps.
Google Maps.
The escape plan.
Having an iPhone is fantastic because it has all of the time-lapse capabilities and stuff. I'm sure the newer Samsung ones have that too, but Dad doesn't have one of those. So.
Not yet. Definitely having a service that allows you to have cell phone reception.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Make sure you have cell service because we don't always, and there was one time that it went out and we were in a tornado warning and that wasn't very good. So.
That is a very good question. Our last segment kind of segued into that in terms of cell service not being available. Kayla, would you like to expound a little bit on that experience, please?
Well, one of the many stories we have about getting into situations like this is the one time that we were chasing on the border of North Carolina and South Carolina. And yeah, our cell phone service went out and we were in the middle of a tornado warning, and we stopped at the top of a hill. We could see like the funnel off in the distance. But we couldn't see the radar, we didn't see Google Maps, everything stopped working. We were kind of just chilling there, not knowing when the tornado would get to us, if it was going to get to us, if it was going to touch down all the way. Not our best day chasing, but we saw 2 funnel clouds or tornadoes that day. And
they are in part of our catalog of some of the pictures that we took.
Yeah.
One of the other issues that we had was not only are we not seeing what's coming at us, but if we wanted to continue to chase it, we didn't know where exactly to go because we don't know where the roads are going, where there's any flat areas to record. Are we heading to a populated area or out to something even more remote with still no service? So that's some of the dangerous conditions that you would run into, and especially if the storm has moved by you. Did it dump a lot of rain? Did it flood the road?
Right.
That's some things that you're really not sure.
Yeah.
Going from one county to the next if you don't have any service. So what other resources do we use for forecasting our storm chasing? So basically we will use the Storm Prediction Center's products. They basically outline where thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms, tornadoes, hail, wind events are going to take place. We'll look for our general geographic area that we drive around in and zero in. And as time marches on and gets closer to the event, we'll start focusing more on the mesoscale models that will depict where the storms are going to fire. And then definitely the day of the chase, we focus on radar, like radar scope, and National Weather Service radars as additional radar capabilities to fine-tune where we're going to chase that day.
Yep, so storm chasing actually starts a couple days beforehand when we're watching the storm system come in off the west coast and make it towards our location on the east coast.
Yep. I didn't know you were going to quit that soon. Her thought's over, it's done.
If you want to check out all of the exact computer models and SPC things that we look at, I will have them linked all below so you can click on them. If you don't understand them, don't worry. If you do understand them.
So now it's the day of the chase, and we have to read the radar and find out what it's telling us and where to go. What do you look for in a radar when we're about to chase, when we're about to head out the door?
When we're about to head out the door, I'm looking to make sure that the storm is actually going to be where we think it's going to be. Because that's the time to make those last minute changes before you hop in the car and you get on the highway and you go the wrong direction. So you definitely want to make sure that the storm is going where you think it's going to go. And while you're looking at it, you're looking for, you know, those reds, those oranges, those yellows that show really strong rotating storms.
And in addition to that, we will use other products, other radar products that actually has the Doppler velocities to tell us where storms are rotating. We will also know where there's strong downburst winds, so we might have a line of storms that day. They might not be rotating, but a good strong line, and we'll know where the maximum wind velocities are to place ourselves safely with an escape plan.
Not on a dirt road.
There's other products that help us to determine where the hail cores are going to be, so we can shoot the clouds and the storms from a safe distance without having the vehicle be impacted by all the hail.
I don't want to replace my windshield again.
Yeah. So we'll take a look at those things, position ourselves, and hopefully we still have cell service at that time to be able to record the storm and see how it goes from there. So if you want more details on how to read a radar, we've actually got blogs out there that we've written that actually breaks down some of those products, the reflectivities, the Doppler velocities, things along those lines. Check them out. We'll put the links down below.
So normally while I'm running around in the heavy winds and rain trying to set up the tripod and not have the camera tip over, Dad over here is making an escape plan so that we can get out of there safely without having any of our equipment damaged or ourselves damaged. So Dad, what do you look for in an escape route?
Well, it actually starts earlier in the day when we're making our forecast and where we're going to go, because we forecast how the storms are going to move, so we know how to get there. But then when we want an escape plan, where are we going to go? Do we want to stay with the storm? Do we need to drop to another storm? Or has a huge line formed behind it and now it's a dangerous situation, we just need to bail completely? So while she is out in the elements getting all the footage, I'm sitting there in the safety of the car trying to go, okay, where are we going next? And I think so far it's worked pretty good.
Yeah.
And then what I do is I basically say, this is where we got to get to, and then she goes ahead and takes over navigation after tossing all the wet equipment and everything in the back of the car, gets in soaking wet. She pulls down her rain hood and goes, okay, and then I hand her the phone and I go, that's where we got to go next. She goes, okay, and then I bail out, or we bail out, and she helps me get to the next location. So it's a tag team effort.
It's like organized chaos. If someone were to watch us from the outside, I'm sure we would look like absolute mad people, like running around, throwing stuff in, throwing phones all over the place. But it works. It's a system that we've gotten to work over the past couple years of chasing together. So
that's right.
Yeah, do what you guys can do, you know? Make a team, figure out who's navigating, who's driving, and then send us a video of you guys throwing stuff around.
There you go, there you go. Yeah, and that's the thing, you need someone that's good with navigation, because if you go, okay, do I go left or right, and they're looking at the map and they're not good with navigational skills, it's going to hurt you.
Yeah, so maybe make sure that one of you knows how to navigate at least.
Yeah, put your best navigator in the co-pilot seat and your best driver, because you're going to be driving through all sorts of stuff in the driver's seat, and you should be pretty good. So what happens if you're chasing by yourself? You don't have a team, you don't have other people that either have time or have the interest like you do, but you want to go out there and you want to get some of this footage. What do you do by yourself? You have to navigate, you have to look at the radar, you have to get there, get your stuff out, record, throw everything back in, get an escape plan.
All yourself.
You know, you gotta do that all by yourself, and that is a very difficult thing to do by yourself.
I had to do it a few times while you've been working, because our schedules are kind of backwards, so
Yeah.
he'll be working when I'm not, and I'll be working when he's not, so it's kind of rare that we actually both get a day off.
That's right, that's right. So basically the first thing to do is don't beat yourself up if you miss an event or you're not getting as much as you want. Remember, you're out there chasing. You know, you want to make it an enjoyable experience, even if you only capture a little bit of footage or a couple of pictures. Hey, you went out there, you did what you could do.
And you had fun.
And you had fun,
yeah.
and you got something to show everybody afterwards. So don't sweat it. do what you can, and the more you do it, the more experience you get, and the more you'll be able to plan. And who knows, maybe by that time you might have other people interested because they looked at some of the stuff that you did, and you might build a team.
There you go. So one of the most important things about storm chasing, though, as we mentioned in part 1, it's kind of long, it's kind of boring. You're in the car for a long time driving here and there. So what you need is some good tunes.
That's right. You must have a chasing playlist.
Storm chasing playlist. My Spotify is just a long list of storm chasing playlists.
Our playlist is full of stuff from the Twister movie, Van Halen. We've got Thunderstruck from AC/DC. We've got some other things on there that just...
Thunder by Imagine Dragons.
Thunder by Imagine Dragons. Just a lot of weather-related, concepts, I guess.
You'd be surprised how many weather-related songs there are out there.
That's right. That's right. And it helps us, especially when you just hit the road and you've got an empty bladder and a full thing of water and a full bag of snacks. You're ready to tackle the world, and you want this playlist to be something that's really going to energize you.
It's gonna pump you up. It's a hype playlist, you know?
Exactly, because you might take a little while to get to your location, but you want to be amped up by the time you get there.
Oh, yeah.
And especially as you're getting closer to the event, you start seeing the clouds in the distance, or they're starting to form, or roll over the hill, and you get really excited, and that just pumps you up even more.
It's about the time that Humans Being comes on.
Exactly. And now you're just trying to get to that location and get out there. So, and then have a pretty cool playlist for on the way home.
Yeah, hopefully it's one with positive songs and not ones of defeat.
That's right, especially if you have a busted forecast.
Yeah.
The busted playlist.
Bunch of sad songs, just crying all the way home. Hopefully you're using your positive playlist.
That's it.
So now that you heard a little bit about our experience and our advice and our tips and tricks, if you guys are storm chasers, we want to hear from you too. So leave us a comment down below with your storm chasing tricks and tips and any stories that you have about being in a wonderful situation or a dangerous situation.
So if you like what you've seen today...
And if you want to see more of our pictures and footage from the chases that we've been on, check us out on Instagram and Facebook. Until next time, I'm Kayla.
And I'm Jim.
Thanks for watching.
And happy...
Can you stop with the squeak?
Oh crap, the wrong way. I hate this chair. We're buying a new chair.
Okay.